Our next story caught my attention because it was so unique, and I really wanted just to dive into it a little bit. It's not really the time of the year that you would immediately think of sled dogs. And to think that we actually have teams of sled dogs that work in the Ottawa and surrounding areas was something that new to me. But this story is a little bit different because it involves a lost sled dog. And before we get to all of that, I want to introduce you to the musher, and he is from the Larose Forest area. His name's Jason Turpin. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Tell us a little bit about your dog. Tell us a little bit about Sirrius.
Sirius was born and bred at my kennel. We started at a very young age. His mother was ill, so I bottle fed that litter, including Sirius and his sister Cotton, who's also at my kennel. And that's when a bond really developed with Sirius. He became our team leader of the kennel and of our team that we race. My bond with Sirius is indescribable. It's almost telepathic, the type of communication that him and I have as he leads my team through the different events that we go through.
How many events, Jason, would you go through in a winter?
Well, we actually start racing early nowadays. There's an aspect of the sport that we call dryland racing, which starts in late fall. So it's sort of a primer to your season as you head into the winter, where you do little 4 and 6 mile events. So we probably do 2 or 3 of those prior to the winter, which are like sprinting events. And then we get into longer races as the winter cools off and we get into the snow. So typically over the season, we'll do about 6 races.
How many dogs do you have?
Right now at my kennel, I have 13. Sirius would be the 14th one being missing right now.
And what? How many would you use at a time? You wouldn't use them all, would you?
Well, I'm a very small kennel by comparison to my competitors with 14 dogs. So in a long distance, or I should say mid-distance event, or a 30-mile event, I could use up to 8 to 10 of those dogs.
Wow. So when you say you have a special bond with Sirius, how do you explain that to somebody? Like, do they know what it is that they've got to do next, and they kind of, without you even having to tell them? How does that all work?
Well, I mean, it varies. Like, for an example, on a day where I'm coming home from work and I'm feeling that it's time to get ready to run the team or for us to go on a training run, Sirius is already up. He already knows what's going on. He's aware. He's watching every move that I make. When we're on the trail running and we have to turn left or right with Sirius, I just have to think it in my head, and he can sense that we're either turning or coming to an obstacle that I'm going to need him to navigate and lead the rest of the team through or over that obstacle. I don't know how to describe it. It's just uncanny. My other dogs that take lead for me, I have to give the verbal commands to G or Ha or to continue on through or over the obstacle. With Sirius, it's an uncanny telepathic communication. And part that comes from the fact that he was in my arms as I fed him from a bottle, and then as a puppy in my bed. And I mean, this is typical of a lead dog. You try to nurture that emotional relationship as much as possible.
So tell me what happened then on Sunday, May the 15th.
On that particular Sunday morning, is like most mornings, I have 4 puppies in the kennel right now, and we often use Sirius because he's such a well-behaved dog. We take Sirius out with the puppies. We do a little bit of running around in the forest, and the puppies get their exercise, and the puppies learn that this is the type of behavior that I'm looking for as they grow up. I want them to be like Sirius. But this particular morning, I brought a yearling along with me that I don't normally bring along for free running, and that yearling took off. And Sirius took off after the yearling. We recovered Tack, who's the yearling that we brought along. We recovered him at a farm not far from where they left, but we haven't been able to recover Sirius since then.
Now, what area was that in when he disappeared?
That would be in the Castleman area, just by Little Rose Forest.
Now, have you had any sightings since May 15th?
We've had two, we've had lots of tips, but to say that we've had positive sightings, well, we had a positive sighting within 3 days of his disappearance. He was roaming a farm field between Castleman and St. Isidore, and he was spotted from the 417. But most recently, this Thursday afternoon, I dropped the flyer at a McDonald's with a bunch of older gentlemen that were talking, and that culminated into a tip that he had been seen in Bourget, behind the retirement home. We got some people together on the Friday evening, and we canvassed Bourget, and the canvassing brought forward another gentleman who had also spotted Sirrius roaming through a field heading to the cemetery in Bourget. So we've had two confirmed spotting last Thursday of him in Bourget, but we haven't been able to capitalize on that and capture him.
How would he be surviving on his own? Because he's used to, being fed and everything else. How do you suspect that he's surviving on his own?
Well, with sled dogs, we try to keep as much of their natural instinct as possible through the breeding process, through the training process. I'm confident that he has no problem scavenging for birds, mice. It's something I let them do at my property when they're running around. I don't stop them from pouncing on mice and chewing on mice and stuff like that. So he would be able to survive by hunting for a while. I'm going to say at this point, being 21 days, that there's a good possibility he's starting to thin out, and that food is not going to be so easy for him to obtain as far as hunting for birds and mice and stuff like that. And I do suspect that over the next little while, he is going to start looking for people and homes that might be able to provide him food.
This must be a horrible experience for you.
I can't even tell you how ripped apart I am. I don't know how to describe it any other way.
Jason,
I work on it every day.
Jason, we will post a link to you because you have a really good Facebook page that gives information about what people can do, who they can call. It gives the information on his microchip as well, and yes. We'll put a link on that to the CFRA Facebook page. So if anybody's listening today, especially in that area, if they have anything to add and any information that they can pass on, that they do so, and we get Sirrius home. Okay, I appreciate that very much. We will be continuing to update the Facebook page. I'm going to add stuff to it continuously about things to look for, little things in his appearance that might help somebody recognize him. I think one of the things about being out here in the country area is we have a lot of dogs that are running free, right? People don't chain up. There's a lot of farm dogs that run around. So when people see a dog that's running around, they don't necessarily think of it as a lost dog. They just think of it as a farm dog that's maybe running around or somebody that they've let it free. So we're doing the best we can to make people aware that he is actually, if you see him, he is actually a lost dog, and to how to encourage him to come to you. So, could you describe what he looks like?
He's an athlete. So that's the first thing, and he's very much coyote in appearance. He's about 45 pounds. He's black and tan in color, but he has the traditional husky face with having a white mask. He is very lean, but that's how I take care of my dogs. They're athletes. I don't want them to be overweight. I want them to be in good condition. So at this point, he's going to look even more coyote-like because he's going to be thinning out, even more lean than he would normally be.
What, is there another leader in the pack, or is this, loss going to mean that, that you wouldn't be able to race again?
I have the World Championships coming up in Halliburton this winter. We have other leaders in the pack. Cack is a leader. Cotton is a leader. But it's not the same type of leadership. Sirrius is... I would describe him like a soldier almost, listening to a general's commands. He'll do anything I tell him to do. He'll run and run and run. If I ask him for more, he'll give more. Even if he's tired, he'll give more. My other leaders aren't quite like that. They're great dogs. I'm not saying that they're bad dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Don't misinterpret that. Cotton is an excellent leader, but sometimes she doesn't like to go too fast. She likes a certain pace. Cat, he's a great leader too, but he gets distracted. He sees something often, and he's, off daydreaming a little bit. Great dogs, but not the same as Sirius. Yes, we'll still be able to compete, but it's not quite going to be the same. And more than is just the leadership of the team, he helps me in training puppies. We've brought in rescues into the kennel where, other huskies are in bad situations, so we go pick up a couple of rescues. We bring them to the kennel. Sirius is the dog that helps me help those dogs adjust to being in a kennel until those dogs can find new homes or, they're brought back to health and that kind of thing. So he's more than just a team leader. He's the overall aspect of the kennel. He's a dog that we breed to get new dogs to refresh in years to come as well. So there's losses all around if we can't relocate. I'm confident that we're going to find Sirius at some point because of his microchip identification. I think the goal right now that I'm pushing for is to shorten that time period as to when we locate him.
Well, best of luck to you, Jason.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Jason Turpin is a musher in the La Rose Forest area, and he is searching for his lost lead dog, Sirius, that was lost on Sunday, May the 15th, so just a couple of weeks ago. All right, we're going to post a link to his Facebook page, Jason's Facebook page. It has all the information about Sirius, and see what we can do as the CFRA Nation to bring home Sirius.